stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready?
Hey guys, I'm Bianca. Welcome back. Today I have 4 Dollar Tree Boho Decor DIYs. So for this first one, I'm using this Dollar Tree mirror. So I'm gonna take that mirror out of this and I'm going to place it onto this piece of cardboard. But before doing so, I just grabbed a bowl and made this circle. So I'm gonna cut this out. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm gonna use some rope. I need like a background to place the rope on top of. Because of this whole situation we are all going through, my husband had to go to Home Depot. He started this new job about a week ago and I told him to buy me this rope. Now this is 100 feet guys for only, I think it was about $7. It was really inexpensive, so I gave him a list. He got that for me. It's actually cheaper than Dollar Tree's. Dollar Tree comes with 9 feet of rope for $1, of course. So I'm gonna make a braid out of the rope. I just cut 3 long pieces. I didn't even measure. And you'll see in the end that I probably should have. But anyways, I'm making a braid, real simple braid. And then to get that boho look, this is gonna go around that mirror. Now, of course, a bigger mirror would look nicer, but I'm trying my best not to go to the Dollar Tree. So that's why I'm using this mirror from the handheld mirror. So I'm giving the ends a little haircut so they're nice and pretty. So once the mirror is glued in the center, I just use my hot glue gun. I'm gonna start adding that rope. Now once I put it down, I hold it down for several seconds so that way it doesn't come back up. So once I come around it one time, right here, I'm going to make sure I add enough hot glue right there so it doesn't pop up, and I'm gonna go around that part. I'm not gonna cut it. Since I didn't make the braid long enough, I went ahead and grabbed more rope, made another strand, and then I'm just adding it. I'm going to end up doing 3 rows of the braid. So now that I'm at that 3rd row, I cut it and I'm just trying to make it look as best as possible by kind of tucking it in and adding more hot glue. And this last part would be just to cut the excess cardboard off. So here it is. Try wiping the mirror without touching the rope because then you bring those fibers onto the mirror, and that's what I did. I also used a lighter, which I forgot to mention, to remove a bunch of the fibers. So for this next one, it is very, very simple. I'm just using both of these items from Dollar Tree. I have this round piece of wood that is very light, by the way, and then you probably remember this organizer if you watched my last video. You don't need to do anything to the wood piece. I just remove that tag, and then I'm going to take the organizer and I'm going to cut off the area where the little pom-poms are on. So the little part that the pom-poms are on, I'm just making sure that it is straight before I start gluing it down. And now I'm adding hot glue to the sides to glue the pom-poms down, and that's pretty much it. You can put anything on this that's round, like a flower pot, you know, a vase. So you could stain the piece of wood or paint it. I'm just really liking that raw wood for these DIYs. And this is just another way. This is a Hobby Lobby base that I found a while back for I think like 70% off. So for this next one, I'm going to use these burner covers from Dollar Tree. They come in a 2-pack, so one of them is smaller than the other. What I did was take them outside and spray paint them with my chiffon chalk paint. Now for this one, I'm making a plant holder. I'm showing you right here that the bigger piece is going to go at the bottom. This is exactly the way that's going to go, and the way I'm going to hold them up is with the Dollar Tree wooden rulers. Before I take off the sticker areas where it says the inches and centimeters, I'm going to go ahead and kind of score right in the center where it says 6 inches, and that way I know exactly where the middle's at. I'm attempting to cut down the middle where I scored it at, and what's crazy is the last time I did this, I was able to cut it with my scissors, and this time I don't know why I just could not. So I kept scoring it on both sides, and I just had to kind of snap them in half with my hand, and I just sanded them down a little. But what was funny right here was that I started to notice the 4 little fingerprints right there, and when I had spray painted that stuff earlier, my son touched it and then he came and touched my craft paper. After sanding down those rulers and making sure it wasn't too jagged, I'm going to go ahead and start to glue this down with some E6000. So I'm adding it right here. As you can tell, you'll be able to see me doing this better than me explaining it. So I'm using E6000 because, as you know, if you use it, it is an industrial glue. It helps it stay together way better than if I used hot glue. The reason why I'm using these clamps is so that way it doesn't move, because it does not dry right away. It takes hours and hours for it to dry. My husband also bought these clamps for me at Home Depot, and they are so heavy duty. They are really, really good, and they were only $1. So I got 10 of them, and for this I'm only going to need 8. So I'm going to put 4 clamps on the top and 4 at the bottom so they all stay in place. So remember, this bigger round piece is the bottom. Now I'm going to add E6000 to the top, and we're going to just basically do the same steps, but I'm flipping it over because it's just easier for me to see where I'm applying the glue and the clamps. You can also see that 2 of my rulers are going to have these holes in it, which you won't be able to see at the end because I'm going to add something to that, more of a decor statement, and you won't even be able to tell. So now that I'm done, I'm going to flip it back over the correct way it's going to sit. For this next part, I'm turning it back upside down. I did end up leaving and letting this sit for maybe like 2-3 hours. I had to go to the grocery store. This still isn't completely dry. It is going to take maybe a few more hours, and for it to completely cure and be fully dry, it will take 2 to 3 days. But what I'm going to do is take these Dollar Tree Jenga pieces and add them to the rulers just for a more secure hold. To add the Jenga pieces, I'm actually going to add E6000 first and hot glue second. Of course, hot glue goes last because it takes no time to dry. It dries really fast. I also took the level out. That way, once I have everything in place, like after I add the Jengas, I'm going to put the level on top just to make sure it is somewhat straight, not perfectly straight, but somewhat, which it was. So remember I told you guys I was going to hide those holes? Well, I'm taking these Dollar Tree wooden beads and just adding 2 to each of them at the top. Now, this part is up to you on what you want to do. Maybe if you decide to make this, you might go all the way down with it, or maybe halfway with it. So this is so cute. I love the way the little stand came out. So remember, even though we used E6000, I wouldn't put anything really heavy, obviously. I just have this really lightweight sign, and then on this next clip I do have a terracotta plant. Remember, the E6000 glue completely cures within 2 to 3 days, but I decided to add these little decor pieces to it because, you know, I'm filming, and I did end up waiting at least about 6 hours. So for this last one, I'm making some wall decor. I'm using 2 other oven covers, and as you can see, I painted them black. I spray painted them outside, and I only had to do the sides because I'm gonna glue down this fabric. This Dollar Tree organizer has this really nice boho looking print on it, so I'm gonna trace that out and I'm gonna glue that inside. And for the bigger round piece, I am going to use some Dollar Tree black felt. Right here, I'm showing you how I remove those extra pieces that are sewed on that you don't need. I'm just kind of pulling it away gently so I don't rip anything, and it comes off pretty easily. The inspiration for this came from Etsy. Again, I found this really cool wall art. Now, this comes with 6, I believe, and I honestly wanted to do 4 of these, but I only had 2 more to do this DIY. So this is from FIGMENTANDFIBER on Etsy, and I will link her shop below if you want to see her stuff or how cool these look. They are so pretty. So for this bigger one, I'm just doing the same thing, and I'm spreading out the felt, and I'm going to trace it and cut it, and we'll be gluing that inside. You're probably thinking, couldn't you have just spray painted the whole thing black and leave it like that? Yes and no. You can do that if you don't have any black fabric or felt, but since I had it, I thought it would look good with some type of fabric in there. So that's up to you if you decide to do this. But now for this part, I wanted to let you know I'm doing it little by little. I'm not doing it the same way I glued down the other smaller one. Before this, I had to cut out another piece of felt because I messed up. I just glued it on really fast and put it on, and it looked ugly. You could see the lines of the glue. So what I'm doing right here is doing it little by little, adding glue and kind of smearing it so you won't see the lines of it. These actually came out way prettier than what I expected. I wish I had more covers to make more of them. That way I could do that same style like Figment and Fiber did. Like right here on the wall, you see how pretty that looks. If you had at least 4, it would look even prettier. So I love that. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching during this really rough time that we're going through. I appreciate it so much, more than you know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, guys.